Oh, man.
Oh my God.
Well, folks, get another shot in here. And again, there's a little bit of stain here, which doesn't bother me a bit. But I'll be curious to see if the fish continue to timber crush like they did the last outing I had in Wisconsin. The Minnesota opener was a bit of a all-over bust. Managed to bring a couple of fish home, and I think I'll do a recipe tomorrow or tonight. I think I'm going to grill that fish. There's a fish. Fish number one. Small brown. Bottom hook, bottom jaw, one hook. Just a little baby. About 9, 8. There's a decent fish. Well, looks like it's on, folks, again. That was a timber crusher. A little better brown. Yeah, that one's almost a foot. 11 and a half, I'd say. Pretty fish. There he goes. So I had a comment yesterday about casting, and I'll just tell you again, once again, the piece of equipment here that I'm using, pieces of equipment I'm using here is I use a Shimano Stratic 2500 size reel. Do not use super micro sized reels. If you're using a like Fluger 35 or 40, or I'm sorry, 25 or 30 size micro reel, I can tell you that you're going to be disappointed. The gear ratios, even if they're high, are limited by the arbor size, and so the line retrieve is very short. You will be cranking until you have carpal tunnel if you try to fish any significant periods of time with a micro reel if you're fishing for stream trout, because there's so much casting here. I mean, I'm making hundreds of casts per outing, and if you're stuck with a micro reel, you're just going to be handicapping yourself, and the drag is not going to be as good, and you're not going to have control over the fish. So use a 2500 or 2000 size at a minimum. If you're doing something like a Fluger, a 30 is what I use for stream fishing, and a 35 is what I use for steelhead. And this reel would handle steelhead, but it's a little undersized. I'd really like a 3000 size if it's Shimano size charts are used. But on casting, if you can't cast precisely, you will not be able to catch trout. You really have to be able to hit spots like that right next to the timber, and you've got to be able to keep it away from snags. And if all you can do is an overhand cast, you need to improve your casting. Overhand casts will loop a lure more often than any other type of cast, and actually my favorite cast in tight quarters is an underhand cast, and you'll watch, I'll just toss it under and I'll get a cast out there. So you have to use an underhand cast if you're going to trout stream and have any enjoyment while you're out there on the stream without getting tangled a million times or tying up your line. The 2500 size series reels and the bigger arbor also prevent line loop from braid. The most common reason braid loops has nothing to do with the line. It's if you close the bail by working the handle every time. Sometimes when that snaps shut, it cuts across the face of the reel, particularly if you're trying to do it real quick to catch a lure on a downfall. And that's when it loops, and then it loops and it gets wrapped, and braid loves to tie knots on itself. So they can be very torturous knots that you can't get out and you just have to cut. So bigger reel than micro, braided line, and precise casting. And if you're not great at casting, all you have to do is practice. I'm nothing astounding. The productivity that you see with my casting is solely from practice. So get out there, practice. You'll improve your catch rates of trout if you can cast well. That was a fish. There he is. Nice brown. I followed it all the way down. Oh, he got off. That was a nice brown light hit. There's a better fish. Get the net on this guy. All right. That's what we were catching yesterday, or 2 days ago. Two, it's one hook. So again, not a giant fish, but an awesome, gorgeous brown trout. Just a gorgeous fish. He looks 13 and a half, maybe 14. 13 and a half. Yeah. Oh, let him go. All right. This looks like it's going to be on like Kong. Just another tip here too, when I approach runs like this, I'm always going to start at the back. You do not want to take your first cast and whip it all the way down to the best lie. You want to try some of the stuff in the front. Otherwise, as you drag your lure through, yeah, you might catch one fish at the top, but if you drag that fish down through the entire run, the other fish are going to take off. So I try to do, like, you know, clock radius. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, noon, 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on the scenery around me. But I had tried kind of 9, 10, a little bit short. That last one I'd say 11. And I'm going to try a 12 here, straight up the gut. Perfect. And there were a couple of fish hooked in that run. So not another one right now. I'll dump something off up close to the edge. There's a fish. Hook. Another little brown. Probably about 11, maybe 12. He might be 12. And in the timber. Let's see, can we get it seated? There we go. There's a timber crusher. Stay under the water, buddy. Stay under the water. It'll cool down a bit. Another small brown. a full mouth hit, nothing in the gills, but oh, and I dropped him, but about a 12-inch brown. Nothing better than that. But a timber crusher well seeded. There's a nicer fish. Timber crusher. Oh, and he's off. I'm taking my time, folks, here. I'm not gonna worry about letting the fish get off today. That's better. There he is. Lightly hooked again. It's a better fish. Yeah, that's a nice fish. Whoa, come on you, stop it. Yeah, that's a nice fish. That's the best brown so far. Classic timber crusher, folks, off Fatty. He looks 15. And that fish goes 15 1/4. All right, nice fish. There he goes. On the timber. I promise you, I'm not gonna put the promo ad for timber crusher every time, but that's what's happening here. Make no mistake about it. There's a little guy. Looks like the first brookie of the day. Oh, it was. I think it was. Just tried to flick him up to the shore, just a super light hit. And I've got some 9s too, but we'll use this jobber. This is gold with a black lead body, green eyeball, black and yellow, and orange tri-tail. There's a brown. Little brown. Nice fish though. Pretty guy. He's off. Yeah, looks like a 11-inch, 11.5-inch brown. Pretty yellow colored guy. There he goes. There's a better brown. Oh, he's all wrapped up. He's all wrapped. Nice. Super colorful. That guy's super orange. Come on, you. Don't do that shit. Ah, he's causing a cluster. Okay, he's out. He got himself out, so I can get the lure free in a second here. There's a real nice brown again. He looks 13. Boy, that guy is super orange and yellow. How cool. Huh? There's a guy under the stick. Didn't even see him hit it. Pulling my retrieve in, I thought I was done. brown, about 11, 10 and a half. There it goes. And if you've never used these slip-on snaps, I like them. They're nice and strong and makes for switching lures in and out. All you have to do is clasp that lure in and out of the slide and they stay on really well. And no chance of an unsnap, which if you saw a couple of videos ago, I did have a circumstance where the snap opened and I lost a fish with a lure in its mouth. This snap makes that obsolete. I used to have a couple of packs of them. I just haven't bought any lately, but I'm going to pick some up because I like them the most. There's a little guy. Brown, it looks like. Oh no, it's a little brookie. First brookie. First brookie. Little guy. Pretty fish. Make sure I'm on. There's a fish finally. Small brown. Yeah, another super fluorescent yellow guy. There's a 12, I'd say. 11 and a half, maybe. Seemed like a biter. Yeah, it was. Looks like another brookie here. There's another brookie. Yeah, that's the nicest brookie. Again, just brilliant colors, super red fins, a yellow, orange belly, lots of great dots, about a 10-inch brookie. Well, I'll take a moment to say thanks to some people who made some recent lure orders. In case you don't know what a Schmidtee lure is all about, this is a classic 15 model. And so that's like a Panther Martin size 15. I think that blade is 1 3/4 inches long. The thing that I do differently with my lures is the main wire is 0.035. It doesn't bend easily, and when it does bend, you can bend it back and it keeps the same shape. It's much more malleable than 3/1 and certainly the 027 that they use and 017 that they use on stock lures, Mepps, Panther Martin, Rooster Tail. I've taken some of those lures out of a box and caught one decent fish, and the lure was trashed. Could not be used anymore. The other thing that I do that's different is I only use solid metal bearings, brass bearings for the bearing surface for the blade. The retail ones, they'll use split bearings, some will use plastic. And they always break eventually. The split comes apart and the lure starts to click and stick, or the plastic just erodes. On lead lures, I put a M2 washer on them, and with the M2 washer you can make sure that you don't get any uneven wear at the top of the lead of the lure. And then a body. This one's a lead one. I like to use mostly metal ones, but these are nice for certain applications. When there's space on the lure, I'll add an eyeball or an egg or something like that. And then the hooks that I use, I mentioned them earlier, but Moostad Kingfisher 4X hooks, absolutely the best hook out there. Super strong, they can be sharpened multiple times. And if you do have to bend them and bend them back, they do not weaken. So these are excellent hooks. In fact, if you're in deep water, you'll end up losing more lures because you're not going to be able to free those hooks up in deep water. and you're not going to be able to bend them through. And then I put a tail on. People can choose to use them or take them off. An additional add-on that stock lures don't have is I use a split ring. So if you did want to change out your hook, or you broke a hook, you could change it out. So again, thanks to the folks who have decided to try some Schmidtee lures. And I am not in lure making as a full-time occupation, but I'm going to start putting some orders back through. I know people have asked over the last year and a half when I haven't been making them, and I've made a few orders and just left it at that. But I think I'll put up the link, check it out, for a fill-in form. You can pay with PayPal. You cannot pay with a credit card there. Sorry, I'm not that advanced in my business tech. But of course you can correspond then with email and ask any questions if you have them. Since the pandemic, the prices on lure components have gone way up, so these lures are in no way cheap to make, and I will just say I don't even come close to covering my labor cost, folks. So if you see the price and you have sticker shock, then these aren't for you. But in any event, if you need to get some Schmidtees, the link's back down there, and you can click that link and you'll get the fill-in form. Now back to fishing. Let's see if we got somebody right in this hole here. We do. And he came off, but he's in a bad spot. But again, another 12-inch brown. So timber crushers are still happening, and I really think as this afternoon goes on, folks, this is going to go crazy. This is going to go crazy. I came out early. Last time I was out on this stream, I came out in the late afternoon and couldn't make it to the out bridge before it got too dark. Here I have plenty of time, but I'm probably going to miss that sweet twilight time of fishing, end of day time of fishing. There we go. Got him on. That's a nice jump. That'll make some cool slow-mo for a small fish. Got that deep. Yeah, he sure did. Not in the gills though, but he's close. Got him out. Oh, and he wriggled away. So I think he'll be fine. He's not bleeding. That's a nice jump. That'll make some cool slow-mo for a small fish. There's a fish. Another brown, right around 10.5. Get off. Yeah, the brown right around 10.5. I'm gonna check though. No, he's 12 on the dot. So 12 on the dot. Nice brown. Okay, so that was a positive hookup. Tail might have been a bit of a mistake here today. There's a nice fish. self-wrapped at the end. Let's see what kind of trouble he's in. Not much. Alright, well I think that to go on tailless is a better choice. This is a really nice brown here. Oh, come on here. Come here. Come here. Into the net, you dirty sucker. Jeez. I'm telling you folks, that guy's just bonkers. Got something to deal with my line there. There's a nice fat brown. He goes. Guy goes 13.5. And just a beauty. Just a beauty. Nice fat heavy fish. There's another one. A little bit smaller fish. Is that a brookie? It is a brookie. Another spectacularly red fin brookie, white tips. Awesome looking fish, right around 10. There's a fish. Looks like another brook. It is. Ooh. Fortunately, oh, well, there he goes. There he goes, a little brookie. A little brookie, yeah. He's off. Oh, there we go. Another nice brown. Fat brown. Okay. Alright, well, the lure's out. Yeah, there's a nice brown. That guy's got an old heron wound or something there. And that fish does go 14.5. Beautiful brown. There he goes. I think I've mentioned it before, but this Broden net, folks, this Broden ghost bag net is the absolute best material. It very rarely ever pierces the netting itself, which is awesome. So I want to try to untie it, and then I'll show you the remainder. I mean, it is really pretty darn amazing. It's coming undone as I go. This one got it. He got the twist going on there, which made it extra haphazard. But you'll see the hook's out, and there's absolutely no rip in it. So if you get a chance, and this is just a crappy $25 Frable net that the first thing I did was cut the Frable tangle free, which is, I'm telling you, a major marketing exaggeration. Those nets are terrible. They snag on everything you put in them. It's kind of like a rubber coated fine mesh, and they, in my opinion, are the worst. And the first thing I did after I bought that net was cut it off and put on a ghost net. If you buy the one that has the removable handle, you can easily put on a replacement bag. Really surprised that that guy didn't come for it. There he is. There's a nice fish. Ah, airborne. Nice brown. Wind's kicking up a little bit. Got a fish. Looks like a brookie. There. Oh, he's off. He got off. Another small brookie. Ah, here's a nice trench. There's a nice brown. Ah, should we get off? Fish. So another nice brown at 12. Nice fish. Ah, you sucker. It's a biter. It's a brookie. It's a nice brookie too. There he is. Ha ha ha. So they're on, man. They're snapping. Easy, buddy. You ain't getting off. Another nice 12-inch brown. Wow. This is really pretty cool. Yeah. Nice fat, healthy, nice looking brown. Nice looking brown. Nothing else heavy in 15. I've got this light 15 with a green and pink and red specked tail. Ouch. What we got here? A little fouled brookie. Sure do. Foul hooked brookie. Oh, and there he goes. Sorry, dropped him. Foul hook brookie right above the gill plate. There he goes. Just a little guy. There's a biter. Another brookie. Oh, caught brookies and browns here. Yep, and he's off. About a 7-8 inch brookie. Let's see if we can get a little brookie to hand here. Barely hooked the lip. He's in the lip, folks. Whoa, and there he goes. About a 7-8 inch brookie. The other fish I saw at the tree edge and all that, they were better fish. Oh. There's a nice brown. Stay on, buddy. There's a nice brown. I think I probably missed 3 of these like this in the last half hour. Thick, fat brown. Looks like he goes 14. That fish does go 14. Fatso. All right, so maybe there's still some action to be had here. I can't tell. It's hard for me to tell if this has been as fun or as good as that other section, but it's close anyway. I mean, I think it's close to the same number of fish. I think this section is a hair longer. And I saw one big fish here. You didn't get a good view of him, but I did. And it looked to me like I did see one fish that was probably pretty close to 20. I'm gonna size down. All of that nipping, I'm going to size down. And got a nice yellow one, yellow and black, but it's a 9. I'm going to leave that tail on. I don't think the tail's the problem. Hook up. It's a brookie. Oh my gosh, it's a tiger. All right, I caught a tiger. Woohoo! There's a great consolation. Another tiger trout, folks. Look at that guy. Just a beauty. Just a beauty. Give me the other side, and then we'll get him free. Oh, awesome. Well, that's a great consolation, folks. Yeah, another tiger. Look at that guy. So cool looking. Awesome looking fish. Just a great looking fish. Haha, yes. There's a fish. A little brown. Just one hook. Might get off, but I'm not going to worry about it. My hand is wet. One hook, bottom jaw. A little brownie. Oop, and there he goes. Jumped out of my hand, folks. There's a decent brown. Decent brown. And another super yellow guy. Another super fluorescent yellow guy. Another 13.5-inch brown. Just a lot of fish like that here. No big ones yet. There's a little fish. Little brookie, it looks like. This will help to get him out with the pliers. He's not hooked badly, but he is hooked. Stop it, buddy. Yeah, just a pretty little brookie. Another pretty fish. There's a jumping brown. It's digging. Stuck pretty good. Yeah. Again, just a small brown. That guy's right around 11. There he goes. Here's a decent brookie. One hook. One hook in the top of the mouth. Just nippers. That's a pretty brookie though. Not quite as colorful as some of the other ones, but right about 10 inches. There he goes. Lot of fish in here, a lot of fish in here. Yeah, just a pretty fish. Again, browns, they're here. Brookies right next to brown, or no, this is a brown too. But either way, brookies, browns, and tigers here. Oh, how'd you do this, buddy? Yeah, just a little brown. A lot of little fish now. Looking and looking and looking. Oh, there's a nicer fish. Bad you can't keep them yet, because this one would be perfect. be perfect. He's out nice and safe, but there's a nice, oh, that's a 14-inch brown for sure. There he goes. Another nice brown. Another 12, 13-inch brown. Plenty of fish here. Easy, buddy. There he goes. Oh, he didn't get in. Oh, yes, he jumped out of the net. Sucker. There's a nicer brown again. Little guy though. In the current he feels pretty strong. Just a 10-inch brown. Oop, oop, oop. Oh, there he goes. Couldn't hold him, folks. Sorry. Small brookie. One hook bottom lip. Pretty brookie though. Another small brookie. Oh, well, there he goes. Another small brookie. They're just gumming it. Another small brookie. This one's a little better. Oh, there he goes. Another small brookie, about 7 or 8. Oh yeah, a lot of fish back here. Saw 2 bigger fish, not on my hook, but just kind of swiped at them. But a lot of nice fish, 15, 14, 13, 12. It's not that many big ones. But that's a nice 12-inch brown. I caught a tiger. You seen a tiger trout in here yet? Oh, well, a tiger trout's like it's a hybrid between a brookie and a brown trout. They're about 1 in 10,000 trout, so they're pretty rare. He was a tiny little guy, but he was, they have like, they call them tigers because they have like tiger stripes instead of just spots and or the wormy marks on the top of them. So pretty cool. That was worth it. It's a long walk from all right, folks, well, that's gonna be it. Again, another action-packed outing. I caught quite a few fish that weren't timber crushers here today versus a couple of days ago, but a lot smaller fish here. I caught many, you know, 7, 6, 8 size trout, which yesterday, or when I was in a different section here 2 days ago, it just wasn't like that. I did see 2 bigger fish here though. One probably about 18, another one probably 20. But no hookup with them. So I'm still on the search for a 20. But man, this is an action-packed outing here. All kinds of fishing. A tiger. I must have caught 15 brookies. 30 or so browns, maybe more. I kind of lost count. But I think this really bodes well for future years. This is a great class of fish that's in the water right now, and if most of them make it to 3, 4, and 5 years old, that'll be pretty incredible. And we'll finish with a tiny little brookie, and there he goes. So as always, folks, thanks for watching Wisconsin trout fishing, and happy fishing.